Welcome to this LANTITE test prep lesson covering mixed texts, as this is an important section you'll want to be prepared for on test day. So, what are mixed texts exactly? Well, they're documents that incorporate both continuous and non-continuous elements. These texts might present a combination of paragraphs, such as continuous text, alongside charts, graphs, tables, or lists, which are called non-continuous texts. A typical example might be a research report where the narrative explains findings while the accompanying table or graph usually represents the data. Great, now let's move on to techniques for analyzing mixed texts. Hint: use the following techniques on exam day to help select the best answer option. My first recommendation when examining a question on your exam is to identify and understand each element separately. Begin by distinguishing the continuous and non-continuous parts of the text, and read through the continuous text to grasp the overall context or narrative. This means starting by reading headings, bold words, the first sentence and last sentence of the text passage, and if there is a table, chart, or other visual, begin there before reading the entire text passage. Step 2 is to connect the information. This means to integrate the information you gathered in step 1 in order to determine how the non-continuous elements support, illustrate, or expand on the ideas presented in the continuous text. Furthermore, make sure to pay attention to references in the text to the visual elements. For instance, if the caption states, as shown in Table 1, these references guide you on how to interpret the visuals in the context of the narrative. Step 3 is to look for consistency. In doing so, check that the information in the continuous text aligns with the data in the non-continuous elements, and then find patterns that could lead to selecting the right answer on your exam. And finally, summarize the integrated meaning in your own mind before you even look at any of the answer options. Do this by summarizing how the continuous and non-continuous elements work together to convey the complete message. This summary will help you answer questions that require understanding the text as a whole. Wonderful job so far. Now, before we wrap this lesson up, let's present you with a mixed text example question, similar to what you will likely see on exam day. Take a moment to pause the video, read the prompt, and select the best answer on the right. Once you're ready, push play and let's discuss it together. Great. First, let's identify and understand each element separately. There is a prompt that includes some brief information to present the table. Then there's the table showing energy consumption by sector. Step 2 is to connect the information, such as what the graph is exactly showing us, which is the changes in energy by sector. In step 3, we look for consistencies to check what this graph is really showing us, where we can notice that the sectors industrial, residential, and transportation have all increased from 2010 to 2020. Moreover, we see that industrial, which is presented in blue on the bar graph, increased from 400 to 500. Residential, the green bar, increased from 300 to 380. And transportation in red increased from 350 to 480, which means that transportation increased the most, residential increased the least, and industrial was increased in the most consistent manner. Let's read the question to see what it's asking of us. Based on the graph, which sector showed the most significant increase in energy consumption between 2010 and 2020? Well, after our own analysis, we know the correct answer is option C, transportation. Want more questions like this to make sure you're ready for your LANTITE exam? Visit us at lantiteprep.com and take our mixed text practice quiz now.